The more accurate the education is, the fairer it is, said Liu Xiya, deputy to the NPC and principal of Chongqing Xiejiawan Primary School. She made the suggestion on the reform of the compulsory education stage's curriculum plan for 8 consecutive years. The suggestion was adopted last year, and she was also invited to participate in the revision work initiated by the Ministry of Education. On May 15th, iChongqing conducted an interview with Liu Xiya before her setting off to Beijing to attend the 3rd session of the 13th NPC.
1年1度的两会又即将召开了，这是一次不一样的两会，这也是一次中国智慧、中国责任、中国实力证明的一次两会。多年来，我都一直关注基础。
Over the years, I have paid attention to basic education and curriculum reform, the development of teacher team, the students' learning burden in basic education. During the past years, I have proposed suggestions and communicated with relevant departments, hoping to call attention to the appeals of principals, teachers, students, and their parents. For that, I have received active response. Especially for 8 consecutive years, I have suggested to revise the curriculum plan of compulsory education. The suggestion has been adopted. In 2019, the revision of National Curriculum Plan of Compulsory Education was launched. Due respect has been paid to teacher team building and children's physical and mental development. Besides, active response has been made in terms of reducing the learning burden of students. The Ministry of Education has issued an active list of off-campus training agencies and proposed that lottery admission will be instituted. Those measures will alleviate problems like heavy learning burdens for nurturing top performers and training beyond teaching syllabus in off-campus training agencies. In terms of teacher team building, I have called for improving teachers' social status, especially teacher treatment and teachers' legal duties and rights protection. Generally speaking, over the years, I have expressed the appeals of schools, teachers, and principals within the scope of my duties. By proposing suggestions and engaging in multi-party communication, I have ensured that their appeals are respected, addressed, and resolved appropriately to varying degrees. As an NPC deputy, I think that my work is meaningful. This year, I will continue to focus on basic education and higher vocational education. But this year, I'm more focused on the call for further revision of the curriculum plan of compulsory education. In my research, teachers and principals as well as children and parents talked about the specific issue. The existing curriculum is limited in respecting the law of physical and mental development of children and in promoting their personality development, especially in providing practical, active, and selective courses. Therefore, I also appeal that in this year's suggestion, it is also mentioned that in the process of revising our curriculum plan, whether we can adopt more flexibility in the curriculum management mode so that schools at different levels and regions and education management departments in different regions can give flexible hierarchical management according to the difference in the ability of schools to implement the curriculum. In this way, schools can be given more autonomy in the field of curriculum and have a broader platform and career for the development of teachers and children. Because the curriculum is a core career related to our entire school life, because the curriculum determines when teachers will attend classes, when classes will end, when children will eat, and when homework will be done, and curriculum is actually a core career that moves the whole body. If the curriculum is adjusted, it will actually make an adjustment to the way of life of our existing teachers and children in school. Of course, it will also promote their learning style. In the meantime, in the process of revising the curriculum plan, we also suggested that labor education should be included in the content, and life and health education can be set up as an individual subject, and more attention should be paid to children's life education, especially the education of life and mental health. Now, a lot of children in high school, when feeling very stressed, will have different degrees of mental health problems. Therefore, in this year's suggestion, I'd also specifically stress this point. And can we change the current winter vacation and summer vacation to 4 breaks, spread in the 4 seasons, spring, summer, autumn, and winter, so that the longer one, especially the summer vacation, can be divided more reasonably? Otherwise, we will find that children spend too much time at home in this COVID-19 outbreak. Because of the uneven level of family education and the large gap in family management ability, many parents will feel that children spend too much time at home, which is a burden and also a relative realistic constraint on children's physical and mental development. Therefore, we call for the possibility of adjusting the 2-month vacation to 4 vacations in a year, with each vacation ranging from 1 week to 2 weeks, so that the family and school education can better link up and complement each other. Meanwhile, it is unlikely that the whole state of the children will be completely out of touch with the school education, or even run counter to it, which is what I want to appeal for this time. On the other hand, in the setting of curriculum plan, I have also heard many teachers wish to be given more autonomy in the content of the curriculum and the segmentation of the class hours. We should give autonomy in the selection of curriculum content, the segmentation of content, the segmentation of class hours, according to different regions and different types of schools. As long as we can all meet the national curriculum standards, we can have greater autonomy in the way we choose methods and pace. At least we can apply first, then conduct verification, and then flexibility, classify, and management at different levels. In this way, we can better stimulate the potential and vitality of grassroots schools, teachers, principals, including parents and children. This is also what we strongly call for in the survey. We think that the current curriculum management mode is too unified, which will lead to the insufficient implementation of some curriculum contents, and some courses are not enough for some schools. Let's take Xiejiawan Primary School as an example. The school has developed more than 500 special activities and over 200 associations under the premise of the full implementation of the national curriculum. This is very beneficial to meet the requirements of children's personality development, comprehensive quality development, and differentiate development. However, to a certain extent, such courses also depend on giving the school certain autonomy and space. Or, for example, in areas where there are a lot of ethnic minorities or particularly remote mountain areas, most of the children may have been speaking local and ethnic languages from childhood to school. And when enrolled in school, they have to learn Mandarin, which in fact is a rather heavy language study burden for them. If we add English learning to their study just like what we are doing to students in urban developed area, they will be overwhelmed by the language study burden. We suggest that the curriculum be able to better respond accordingly based on different areas, different types of schools. And we think that sometimes the more accurate the education is, the fairer it is. And the fairness is not an equal or unified education. Sometimes due to the unification or equalization of education, it might not be able to meet the individual needs of different levels, regions, and groups. Therefore, I think the key point of education fairness is how we accurately respond to people's differentiated needs. COVID-19 has caused greater impact on our education than ever before. And of course, it also called forth the rethinking on education and rediscussing on the nature of education in all of our groups throughout the country. This outbreak unexpectedly broke many things we were accustomed to in education, a kind of narrative and dark stuffing teaching method. Students just sit there in groups listening to their teachers and do the same things at the same time. Through the online learning during an on-campus class suspension, we will see huge differences with one province, one district, or even one school. So we can see that one policy for one district, one policy for one school, and even one policy for one student becomes a possibility and a reality. Therefore, from the perspective of educational concept, the outbreak has brought unprecedented impact to us, people engaged in the field of education. people beyond us or people from all walks of life are discussing what education is, how it's supposed to take place, and what factors are involved in its effectiveness. So I think the impact on education also pushes us to think deeply about education. At the same time, I think the development of education after the outbreak will also promote our education to pay more attention to life education, to children's ideas, and to the development of our children's living habits and thinking habits. As for the content of education, we should pay more attention to improving our children's capacity for independent thinking and sense of social responsibility. We have seen so many touching stories and been impacted by a lot of diversified information during the outbreak. I would like to say the outbreak showed the children, the teachers, and the parents a magnetic field of information explosion. So, through the rethinking on education in the process, we must realize that in the future, we need to focus more on children's health, children's personal ideas, and better enhance our children's capacity for independent thinking and sense of social responsibility.
我相信这一次两会一定会圆满成功。我也相信这一次两会一定会促进中国整个治理体系的更加完善和优化。我们一起加油！